Alright, my favorite peeps. Today we're having dinner with my beautiful daughter Alexis and her family, Seth, her husband, and my two wonderful grandchildren. And today's meal, I'm making two desserts because my son-in-law is allergic to eggs and nuts, so I have to do something a little bit different for him, which is I'm perfectly fine. I am going to do some fried chicken, but instead of egg, I'm going to use buttermilk. I'm not going to show that in this video today. But I will show you how I make the, breading and stuff for the chicken, and I may be able to cook one piece for you. I don't want to film while they're here, but in essence, I've got two desserts here that we're definitely going to be making, and one is a chocolate chip cheesecake pie, which is really super simple, very rich though. And then one is a very simple apple cherry, kind of like a dump and go type of pie. Now, I do have a recipe for making this where you make the cherries without can and apple without can. It could take a little bit more work, but if that's something you're interested in, I'll drop the link below for you to be able to go ahead and head on over and get that recipe booklet that I have created for you guys. However, we're going to go ahead and get started with the apple cherry pie. Again, I will not be using egg wash on top. I will be melting butter and sprinkling sugar on top of that. It gives it a little extra bit of a sweet to help them out. So, all right, so I already have my oven at 425 degrees. I have my pie plate here. This is a Pampered Chef pie plate. You can use any pie plate that you want. I do have the Pillsbury pie crust here. You can use any pie crust that you want. I've got a can of cherries here. I got the Great Value kind because it doesn't have high fructose corn syrup in it. Comstock does. The same thing for the Great Value apple pie filling. I've got some butter here for melting, and I got some sugar here. So I'm going to go ahead and start by unrolling the very first pie crust here. And you kind of want to leave this out for about 5 minutes. It should not be warm, really room temperature. It just shouldn't be extremely cold either. All those instructions are on the actual thing. Now this is a 9-inch pie crust. I am using a 10-inch pie plate. It will still work. You're just gonna what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to flip your pie crust underneath the top layer. So I always add the cherry first. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this prepped to rinse out when I'm done with it. And pop the top off. We're just gonna dump this right on in here. You're just going to spread it out on the bottom. Make sure you get everything out of your can. Alright, then I'm going to go in with the apple pie crust. I don't think it matters which order you go in. You can probably just put them in a bowl and mix them and put them in together. My family just happens to like this combination better, and so we're just going to go ahead and dump that here on top. And as you can see, it's going to fit a pretty decent size here in your pie crust, right? So I'm just going to open up this one and put this one on top. Get this open. then we're just gonna unroll this. And you're just gonna place it on top. And you're just gonna fit it up underneath that first pie crust. So you're just gonna kind of move that away from the edges. Now if you have a 9-inch pie plate, you probably won't have to worry about that. This is a deep dish. This will actually make a deep dish. You can also roll out the pie crust with a roller to make it a little bit bigger. You can do that too. But to be quite honest, this doesn't last, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on the beautiful part of it. I just need to make sure that the pie crust is on here, that it's going to contain the ingredients we have inside the bottom pie crust, and then I'm just gonna kind of stretch this out a bit. It's not the prettiest, but you know what, hey, it's a pie. They love it. No need to worry about the semantics of it. I'm not making this for a restaurant. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut some slits through here. And these are gonna be kind of off kilter here, which is gonna be fine because I want it to steam, right? And then I'm gonna melt my butter, and then I'm gonna put it on top. Then when we're done with this, I'm going to show you how we make the the chocolate chip cheesecake pie. You're going to have a cup of chocolate chips with 1 teaspoon of flour mixed in. It's important because it's going to keep your chocolate chips from sinking to the bottom. 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. A teaspoon of vanilla. I've got the double strength Madagascar bourbon vanilla from Pampered Chef. Whenever they have it, I try and grab it even though it's expensive. You're going to need 1 egg. 1 graham cracker pie crust. Of course, you can make your own, or you can use a chocolate pie crust, and then 6 ounces of the cream cheese. Give the butter a little bit more time to melt. We're going to put that on top, and we're going to sprinkle our sugar. We're going to put it in the oven for 45 to 50 minutes. And then that way, while that's going, we're going to go ahead and get our other pie ready to go into the oven. Now, you could do egg white if you wanted to do egg white, but like I said, my son-in-law is allergic to eggs and nuts, and so we are not going to be sending him to the emergency room. I like my relationship with my daughter, and I like to keep it that way. So we're going to do right by him because he's part of the family and we love him. He's a great guy, and we're really happy and proud to have him. All right, so we've got this. All right, and before the butter cools, you're going to want to add in your sugar. You can sprinkle a little, sprinkle a lot. It's definitely going to make it a little bit more sweeter, which is going to be just fine for us. Whatever it is that you want to do, just know that you can do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven, like I said, for 45 to 50 minutes on 425. All right, I'm going to get... Now, if you're using a stoneware pie plate, you will probably need it closer to the 50 minutes, to be quite honest. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up out of my way, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the second dessert. Alright, now for this dessert, what we're going to do is we're going to add in the cream cheese. And the next thing we're going to add in is going to be the sweetened condensed milk. But we're going to go ahead and get this with a hand mixer. You want this to be fluffy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to gradually add in the sweetened condensed milk. It'll start to cream up a little bit better here. So you really want this to be smooth and creamy. Definitely gonna take a couple minutes. And then I've got some more smell to get up out of here. Spatula would probably be better here, but I'm stretching the cord for this mixer pretty far. I don't have a electrical outlet in my island. I do plan on rebuilding the island, but for right now I don't have one, so we're gonna make do. Looking nice, looking nice, looking nice. All right, so I'm happy with that. This is really pretty smooth. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the egg in. Then I'm going to add the teaspoon of vanilla in. And then I'm going to give this a stir with the mixer as well until everything is incorporated. This is going to be a two-step process. Now I will say there's a chocolate ganache that goes on top that we will add after the chocolate pie cools down. Now you don't need it at all. It'll make it less rich. You can just drizzle some chocolate on there, make half the recipe and just drizzle it on there. That'll definitely give it a little bit of richness, but nothing like pouring the whole part of the chocolate on the top. Very, very rich. So the recipe I'm actually going to do, it's just, for the chocolate glaze, it's just 1/2 cup of mini chocolate chips and 1/4 cup of whipping cream. That's all that is, and honestly you could definitely cut that in half, but I'm gonna put the full part on it because that's what everybody likes. Alright, so when it's all done, this is what it should look like. It's nice and creamy. And then I'm gonna just take this off and we're going to add in our chocolate chips, and that we're gonna just stir in with a spatula. Now this is going to cook at 350 for about 35 minutes. So this is not going to be go in it long at all. Right now the oven's at 425. I only have one oven. So there will be no putting this in at the 350 mark for right now. But you can see absolutely how beautiful and creamy this is. Gorgeous. Now we're gonna get our pie crust together. I do keep the top plastic piece. It does make a good cover for it. All right, now you're just going to pour this into your pie crust, and it will fill. I got a 10-inch pie crust here, and it will fill it pretty good. So you could go with a 9-inch, but it's going to be definitely full. I prefer the 10-inch pie crust because it's going to give that room for it to expand, and it's going to give it the space that you need for the chocolate. Now, I'm not worried about putting this in a water bath, and that is strictly because we're going to be covering it with chocolate, so I'm not too concerned about it as far as a water bath is concerned. For those of you who are cheesecake connoisseurs, so I'm going to go ahead and get this on a cookie sheet to be ready to go into the oven when the other one's done. I'm going to start cleaning up. And so this is the consistency that you want the topping, and then we're just going to go ahead and put it over top of this, and I'm going to put the filling down for that too because I can't do both. All right, so once you get this done, all I'm going to do is put the top on it and stick it in the fridge just like that. Give it a couple hours to cool, and then easy peasy. If you make this recipe, let me know how you like it in the comments below. If you've not yet done so, please like this video. Leave me a comment down below how I can improve, what you liked about it, what you feel I could improve. I'm open to suggestions. If you want to be mean, I guess. You're not bothering me. I've dealt with worse people in my lifetime, but you know, it'd be great if you subscribe to the channel. The more content I make, the better I'll get at it, and you know, I want to grow this family. But thank you everyone for hanging out with me. It's been a wonderful afternoon, and I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.